Hi, this is Bruce from fighterkitecentral.com, and we're still talking about bamboo today. In most of the bamboo videos I've done, we've used bamboo that's been smooth, no nodes or knots. This is a bamboo node right here, or knot, whatever you want to call it. It's a place where the bamboo has a ring around its exterior and is solid, generally at least, through the bamboo tube. It's extremely strong, and when you look closely at the way the grain is structured in the knots, it is not very conforming to the rest of the bamboo and very difficult to work with. So today I thought, since many of the bamboo pieces that you get at a garden store or wherever you find a bamboo pole, the spacing between the nodes, between the knots of the bamboo, is generally not quite long enough to make a bow, or a spine for that matter. So you have to learn to deal with these nodes. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is dealing with these nodes. And there's several ways to do it that I'm aware of. There may be many others, and if there are, I hope you either write and tell me or share them on YouTube with others. I made quite a while ago. This is a board. It's got a piece on the end that extends beyond to hold it against the edge of a table, and at the other end it has another piece that I just screwed on the end so that it's a stop for the piece of bamboo I'm working on. And what I usually do is I put a clamp on this block to force the end of the bamboo I'm working with, because generally it's curved and a little bit bendy, and it doesn't want to just stay against the end of this block when you're working with it. So I either clamp, depending on where I'm working, I can either clamp it like this. Yeah, right. Okay, how about this? Clamp it like this. Clamp it like this. Or most of the time, I simply press it down and clamp it. I put the clamp actually on the little post I made, and it just pushes down on the end of the bamboo. I put the board on a table where I can put the end of the board over the edge of the table right here, and that gives me a quite secure place to push against when I'm pushing against the bamboo to get it to conform to the shape I want. Now there are quite a few tools you can use in working with bamboo, especially these knots. Try to get this oriented so you can see it a little bit. This is called a Spokeshave. It's a plane. It works pretty well once you get this knot knocked down a little bit. And there's lots of ways to knock them down. The way I've found works best, or for me is easiest, I just use a chisel. And I put the chisel against the base of the knot and use a hammer and press down so it's a very, very flat angle, and just tap the chisel until that knocks off the knot. And if I want more, I continue to do the same. And for me, that's about the easiest way to deal with it. To make it a little smoother, sometimes you can actually split the bamboo. Now this piece is quite thin, doesn't have a thick wall on it, so I don't have a lot of splitting room on the edge to work with, but sometimes you can actually just split the bamboo so that there's a piece attached to the skin side that's sufficient to use for a spine or bow, and then split away the majority of this knot. In this case, it didn't work out that way. And then you can use a plane if you want to get it smoother. A plane, push against the stop here, and just work it down. Or most of the time I just use my trusty knife and just work it through. It's a little slow sometimes, and these are very, very tough. So be careful when you're working with bamboo, any kind of bamboo. The splinters are fearsome. Now, when talking, the other thing you can do is you can use a little bit of sandpaper and sand these down. You can also sand down the skin side, because right here at the node, especially on a piece of super dry bamboo like this is, these nodes are quite rough and sharp, and you want to prevent that sharpness from cutting the paper or other material that you use for the kite skin. Now, when making a bow using a piece of bamboo that has a knot, what the effect of the knot generally is that it stiffens the bamboo. So if you bend the bamboo piece, the knot is not going to bend very much compared to the part of the bamboo on either side of the knot. And so you want this knot in the center of the bow, and this will give you a stronger center portion of the bow, and will help equalize this kind of awkward stiffness that's created by the knot. In a spine, I try to put the knot nearest to the tail of the spine that I can. I like the tail section of my spines to be a little stiffer. Some people don't, and if they don't, they'd put the knot nearer the nose of the kite. But because the knot is heavy compared to the rest of the bamboo, it's a little more dense material, it could cause the kite to be a little nose heavy if it's in the nose. I would prefer it to be in the tail to help balance the kite the way I like. Now, I don't fly fighter kites using manja. I fly line touch. So if you're using manja, you're going to need a fairly good sized kite, and one that's capable of carrying a lot of line. With line touch, the line length is quite short, usually less than 100 feet, and that's only 30 meters. And the line we use is very small diameter fishing line, spectra, braided spectra, so it has very little drag. So I hope this video on the knots and how to work with them and how to use them in the piece of bamboo you're making your kite with is beneficial for your bamboo kite making.